Hello, everybody. It is Sunday. This is Khrysalis Studios. Welcome. I'm Raven. We do this every Sunday, so hi. This is going to be hopefully not a super long stream. There are a few things to cover. I have the new NFC technology to show you guys and explain a little bit more how that works. Briar did more variant reveals for Briar Fest. It looks like the last of them. A Destination Series release and the first Premier Club release has come out. So that's all exciting. Speaking of releases, my Ponycorn is coming very shortly too. I'll talk about that. I'll talk about the Dapple workshop that's coming up today and the workshop series that's coming out for members of any of the Khrysalis clubs. I'll talk about the big mess up that I had with my website basically being deleted off the internet and all the code gone and me having to redo all of that and all that good stuff. So let's get into it with Briar first. And it only took me this long to figure out that I can set it so that my face doesn't pop up on those like it has before. So anyways, in other news, we have Briar's reveal of what looks to be, from what they're saying, the last of the Briar Fest variants. So they say, but wait, there's more. You didn't think we'd only give fans 3 splits this year, do you? We're starting off this weekend on the right foot with the last split run reveals for the Celebration Midsummer Fair. So this was on Friday. This is Handsome Thigblir on mold 47, been done as a gorgeous sooty Palomino Overo Pinto, as well as his normal color. So it'll be a color split. And it says that it'll be a half and half run. We have, it says, and finally, and actually finally this time, 1/3 of our year's adorable virtual stable mates, Hig, or Hig, will also be available in a striking metallic pink, mauve, dun Tobiano Pinto, which is kind of cool. It's a neat color. They don't often do pink, so that's kind of cool, especially for like a midsummer flowery theme. Seems to fit. Next week, Thursday, June 4th at noon is your last chance to get all access tickets with the option to complete a preference form. So that is this coming Thursday. So if you want to choose your special run, or at least have the option to put in a preference list versus just getting a wild card, which could be whatever. Usually it's whatever's left over that people don't want. And sometimes it's a mix, but you have a better option, obviously, of getting what you want if you submit your form early, or are able to submit a form at all, which means you need to buy a ticket by the 4th. So there is that. Jody says, oh wow, I'm right in the middle of a sooty Palomino Overo. That is funny. I'll see if I can pull up the list of the variants here. Give me 1 second. And then we can see them kind of all together. And hi, Jody. Welcome to the stream. How do I I had it in my stories, and I can't. There we go. 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 Storms. Storms. I don't know if it's going to let me go back and see the stories specifically. It looks like it's timed out since the last time I posted. I know there's a way to find it, but I'm not very good at this. Let's see if I can find it. It was originally posted on Facebook. Came from a lady. Maybe one alcoholics. Bear with me, because it's kind of nice to see everything all together in one place. Let's see if I can find it. Maybe I don't have it. Shoot. Fire Fist variations. See if it pops up this way. We are in the middle of quite a crazy thunderstorm that's rolling in. So if I suddenly just go poof, that might be the power. So there's been a couple good like thunder strikes. So it has been, I was like, no, bad timing. It was good till now. Shoot. Maybe it's like Sydney Briar or something. If any of you have that, let me know. It was all in one place and I meant to save it. Did I actually save it? Maybe I saved it. I hate when they keep changing stuff. Makes it nearly impossible to find anything. When they're like, oh, they're just gonna move stuff around. Nope, I don't have it here. Sorry, guys. I had them all lined up, but I shared it to my story thinking that it would still be up in time for doing this, but that is not the case. So I will move on, because I won't be able to find it in time. I can go to the normal breakfast page, I guess, and show you what that looks like. Events, breakfast. So the variants, in my opinion, there's nothing that's, oh my god, other than the glossy Othello. I quite like the color of that one. So we had this guy, he's in that teal, purple, and pink version of this, the decorator. Let's see. Switch it to this guy. So that's the other variant there. And then we have the 3-bell mule, which is the variant. And then the non-variant is Aquavit, just normal tail, swishy tail. And then we have Thingvlir, so that's the Garula Overo. And then we saw today that close that tab already. That he comes in the Palomino, Sooty Palomino. So that's him normally. And then this is the variant. That's a 50-50 split. Quite cute. And then the variant of the stablemate is the pink. They don't tell us this candy surprise. And they don't have that guy on there. Of course they don't. Okay. We'll do that guy after, I guess. Make it hard. Not everything's in the same place. So then there's this guy, Oseberg, Oseberg is the glossy matte split, so that is shown here in glossy. And a lot of them are 50-50 splits. There's the Decorator Ethereal is a 30% split. And then I think the Stablemate is an uneven split as well. So he's probably my favorite variant. He's a really nice color to be just in glossy. So, but I don't think I'll be getting him. And then as a quick reminder of the other guys that are available. Go back up here. So there's the Scandi Surprise, the Scandalous Surprise. No idea what that is. Obviously, they don't usually reveal these. It is kind of a last minute, or not last minute. Well, I guess last minute we find out. The day of Briarfest, when everything opens and people start getting the first horses, is when we know. There's Burka and Reeb, and that is the Appaloosa Stallion Gelding in full, I think. Might be a mare. Oh, yeah. So they made the Lonesome Gloria mare. Chestnut Blanket Appaloosa. They didn't do a full variant this year, or at least they're not telling us that they did a full variant. Because Firestorm was in the logo, I was kind of hopeful that it'd be a full variant, so maybe. We'll see how it goes. He'd be really, really, really cute in that color. Then there's Hertier. That is the elk. And then we have Madnasoul, who is the Merguez, which is also a really pretty color. And this is the first time we're seeing Cosimo on a normal kind of run. And then the Wanderer, which is Odin's horse on, well, or Odin as a horse on Fireheart with little raven feathers. So you guys know what I'm buying. Need one of him, because that's cool. I like the color. I like the feathers. It's really, really neat. He's got the one blind eye, or blue eye technically, on the one side. I don't think they wanted to make it totally blind because that'd be a little creepy for kids, especially. And then they normally... So those are the limited editions. So Vinder from Dalif. And then I'm not going to say the names. We have a Leopard Appaloosa on Hitticus. We have the first representation of the pony that Kelly just did for the Premier Club on a special limited run, 2,000 pieces, which isn't too bad. First time we're seeing him, so of course people that are looking for bodies are going to be all over it. So there's that, making them more rare, which is fun. We have the Icelandic as a crystal. We have a Dulla horse. We have a plushie. We have the Best of Briarfest series number 7. There we go. This is the one that's in pink. So that's the original, and then the variation. It's not this one. It is. So we don't have it all in one place. Easy that I found. Variation is pink. And then if we go back to this guy, this I also need. That is, I love that color. I love that mold. So that's what I'm buying. This Briarfest, it seems like. So I'll be getting him, the Fireheart, and then probably a Scandi Plus Surprise, because it's a Scandi Surprise. Well, they're flipping through those. There's the Best of Briarfest. A couple of the different options. It seems like a little bit of a, well, for me personally, not as exciting of a year as some of the past Briarfests we've seen. There's a couple things that I'm excited about, and I kind of feel like the energy in general has been a little bit lower for most collectors. I don't know about you guys, but it just seems like it's not as, Briarfest. Maybe just everybody's burnt out with life. I don't know. So yeah, that's what's up with that. Then they reveal, or they sold the Destination series. So this is Buenos Aires. This is the Manchado style. Why is my brain blanking? All the Spanishy countries down there, because my brain's not working very well, have some really cool genetics that happen. The Manchado has a really cool pattern variation, kind of looks like Appaloosa, but it's not. A lot of their polo ponies start looking like this. You see some really wild colors with the Criollos and all sorts of stuff in the South American kind of area. And this is the polo pony done up in the Manchado color, which is really neat. It's interesting because somebody made the correlation between some of these horses that we're seeing being very similar to some stablemates that came out. So I guess there was a Manchado polo pony in stablemate version not long ago, and I can't remember what series it came out in. And then we had some other similarities too. I don't know if I'll be able to find that, but this is in-hand pictures of him, which is quite cute. I quite like those patterns. They're just really fun. And it's different from what we normally see. And to use the polo pony, which we don't see used very often, it's kind of cool. Zoofies. And then they have all their hair cut off because that's how they work. It's kind of fun. So yeah, there's that. And then we had Carmen released. So that is the first in the Premier Club. This is Karen Gerhardt's sculpture from about, I think it's about 20 years old now. Came out originally in resin, so now offered as a briar. She was quite large in resin, so I'm curious to see how she shows up in plastic, because there's a shrink rate with plastic. They might have scanned her and scaled her up so that she shrinks at a different rate, but I don't think that they did for her. So we'll see how it comes out. People are really excited about her. This was the glossy matte split, so you'll see what they look like in person soon, because I think they just opened this up on Thursday, and I don't know if any of them have landed in anybody's hands yet, because that is usually takes a couple of days for it to happen. So she's kind of cool. I think she was, let's see, they're calling it an Andalusian mare. More Spanish Mustang would be, I think what she originally came out in resin as was more of a Spanish Mustang. So I think that she'll be fun in the show rings. It's kind of nice to get another rearing type pose. We did see Adonis not long ago, so there's been him, and then it had been a while since there was a rearing pose before that. I mean, Destado was the last one before that, so kind of cool. Let me see, we got people in the chat. We have Julie, hello, coming to us from YouTube. Sarah, hello. Reminds me of crystalline, yes, and there's been a lot of people that have said that looks like that. Jody says Lug Aquavit. Katie, hello. Good morning or afternoon. Feels like the LG and Gillen is going to be a full split. They kind of implied that there was no more variations, but they might be throwing us off the scent because there might be micro runs. They've done that to us before. We will see how it goes. Karen, hello, Karen. Katie's saying definitely need the nab stripper. Jody, energy level equals life tensions for sure. Argentina, that's the word I was looking for. My brain was like, Venezuela. I'm like, no, it's like Venezuela. I worked with a lot of Venezuelans, not so many Argentinians, although I did go to Lynn Fraley's workshop, and we had a lovely gentleman that was down from Argentina and painted all the polo ponies and stuff. Very, very talented artist too, specifically with painting, and he was trying to branch out into sculpting. Julie says he's beautiful. Katie, if not in Appaloosa, then why Appaloosa sheet? I think Leslie has a whole bunch of information on how that particular pattern works, with all of her lovely hand-drawn graphics and stuff. So if you're ever curious about that, Equine Tapestry is her website. You can go there and check it out. But yeah, I don't know. I like it. Imagine if you bred an Appaloosa to a Manchado, what kind of crazy things you could get with those genetics mixing and the LP doing LP things. I've actually seen some stuff come up online because I follow horse genetics groups as well, where LP is like reverse varnish roaning horses. So you go from like the horse was starting to go really, really light, and then it goes dark again and like to almost black. And it's like, what? And then people are just like, LP doing LP things because it doesn't make sense. Jody's saying Carmen will definitely be customized by a lot of people. And I think so too. She would make a wonderful base for a drafter. She would make a wonderful base for like so many things. You could do a giant pony on her, which would be really cute. Yeah. Lizzie, hi. Linda, hello. Donna, hello. Welcome. So yeah, that's what Briar's been up to. We'll see what they say. Kind of feels like they're releasing a lot of these variations to get people to buy tickets. So, like I've said before, if you want Briar to stick around, support them. Just like anything, like all the artists, even like liking posts like this stream, uh, shameless self promotion, or anything can be free too. Spreads the word, comment on things, like, share, that sort of thing. But especially with big events, if you want to see Briarfest continue, you kind of have to support Briarfest. So I know times are hard, but that's definitely a thought that's popped into my head with them revealing things that they don't normally reveal. And I don't have any insider information. I just do the occasional piece for them. But yeah, I would maybe think about supporting this year if you haven't. Even if it's just a ticket to watch online, hang out, do stuff. Let's see what else we got. Katie, they hit the Uno reverse on the color scheme. Pretty much. That's like LP. LP's like, well, how can I mess with people's heads today? So if you did munch on it with LP, it'd be very cool. So yeah, let's do the next thing. Okay, so there's lots to cover for the studio stuff, so I might start to talk really fast. I made a big oops, and I was in the back end of my website trying to finish up some coding stuff, very excitedly preparing things for the membership stuff to click over, and I changed a thing in the background in my code, and it reset something in another area of my code, and basically deleted half of my website permanently because me being intelligent didn't back it up before I decided to do experimental changes in the background. So that's why the website looks a little different today than it did maybe a couple weeks ago. I think it's actually good because I think that this made it look better. It's better. I always have issues with like, where do I go? Like serious or whimsy or fun. And this kind of seems to settle in a really good place. It's kind of like a psychedelic chicy feel. I like the butterflies, I like the space, and the pony is just the pony being pony. So hopefully you guys like it. Let me know what you think. It's kind of more revolving around purple. I tried to keep things kind of around the normal logo colors, so oranges and blues and black and yellow, and just wasn't quite my vibe. The original logo was actually done in purple as well, and I like the fiery colors of the orange and the yellow, so I didn't go with that. But maybe that was my brain saying, "Hey, purple needs to be part of it," because I love purple. Purple's my favorite color. I do like blue as well, and a whole bunch of other colors. But if I had to pick one, I do like purple. So yeah, hopefully you like it. It's definitely kind of a step up, I think. It's a little more cohesive. So you might see some other pages kind of change to match a little bit better. There is the explore the catalog button, join a club. This features some of my pieces because some people didn't know that I sculpted stuff for Briar or Stone, or they're just stumbling upon my work for the first time, found maybe the pony, and then they're like, oh, I know Fireheart, I know the Stone Club. So I wanted to feature some of that. Justifies on there too, which is kind of fun. There's a little bar here that, if I refresh the page, ta-da, will tell you what the next theme is. So that'll tell you that Fantastical Friends is up. It'll tell you Spot On Abbeys and Pintos. It does say winners announced. I'd updated this just before. Winners are coming out either today or tomorrow. I'll be posting those winners. It's been a week. But I wanted to make sure this was kind of up to date to say that the judging or the voting was done. You can view the challenges there. There's the information about the Ashcroft expedition. So this is our May sticker. May medallion hasn't been fully revealed yet. That's coming in the next couple of days. Explains about what the club is, the different tiers, a little bit better actually than I've done in the past. So hopefully that makes things a little bit more clear. The upgraded version of the club has all of it, and then it's kind of increasing tiers as you go. We also have our cute little friend here that's about to be hatching out of his little chrysalis, and I had a moment when I was coding all this stuff in the background and I'm doing the graphics, and then I put it all together and I'm like, it reminds me of a Neopet. Remember? They had like the eggs hatching? Oh my. And that was not intentional, but as soon as I realized it, I'm like, is this too kitschy? And I'm like, I gotta keep it. It's Neopets is part of my soul, so I have to keep it. Hopefully you like it. So you can join the newsletter to find out when that's coming, but I'm going to tell you here in a minute too. Shows you some of what I've been up to. I will tell you about that NFC technology shortly here, and then you can join this kind of fun. I like all the animations that I was able to get in there, just for something. Works more on desktop, but just for something to kind of plug away at. This is all again more cohesive, and go from there. The club page on desktop is actually has little holographic things going on, which is kind of fun. The clubs, you can now sign up for all of them through the website. That'll put you into the new system. All of the previous members, I got the go ahead from PayPal that their issue was resolved. There was it's been months of trying to fight with these people about what was wrong. There was a bug on their end in the code that wouldn't let Shopify link with PayPal. They resolved that. They then did not tell me I needed to reapply to have what they call reference transactions enabled. That allows you to link things like this together with an old PayPal system and import members over. And so they didn't tell me I needed to reapply once they fixed the issues. So we've now reapplied, been approved, and now there's another bug that's popped up since my excited video between Shopify, technically still PayPal, but mostly Shopify and Appstore, which is the subscription program company that I'm using to give you all the cool features like the automatic discounts and the website access and members pricing and stuff like that. So they've escalated it. I should hopefully have a resolution in the next couple of days. I was going to release the pony as early access to members on whatever yesterday was. Friday. I was aiming for Friday, and then this issue popped up. So this little guy has to kind of wait for that, or I have to build a workaround, which takes some time. So he's done. I have photos of him. There's just a little bit of like last polish that I'll do, but he's good enough for photos. He'll be sent off to the Oaks hopefully this week for molding, and we'll get him casting right away. Let me see here. I want to reveal, I have a whole reveal thing waiting. So I don't want to reveal his name yet, but he is coming soon. Hopefully this week he'll be available, and then what's going to happen is it will be early access, and as soon as I know, I'll let you guys know by email through my newsletter, posting on social media, let you know the exact date. Everything's basically ready. It's just all in that waiting pattern to see if they can sort out the club stuff. Otherwise, I have to go back in and build a whole bunch of back-end code stuff so that we can do it this way. My life is just, I'm a coder now. I'm not an artist. Why? Why is it like this? So I know some of you are really excited about him. What's going to happen is there's going to be early access for at least a day for club members. They're going to be able to get theirs. There's going to be paid in full available, and then there's going to be time payments available for as soon as it goes public after the public days. So 1 or 2 days for the club, and then public for 5 days. So that'll be 6 to 7 days total. And then I'm shutting down the edition until Briarfest. So I'm going to do a pre-order bit. Try this out as a different way of selling things. This helps me get the molds going and ready to go. There'll be a little bit of a discount as well, which stacks on the club discounts, which is like super bonus if he's ordered in that pre-order period. And then he'll re-release for the next batch, which will be another limited period of ordering for Briarfest or closer to Briarfest. And then Saddlebred, depending on when he comes out and is ready to go, I'm doing the last, hopefully, changes on him in the next week or so, couple weeks, and then we're like Briarfest is like coming, so he might just be revealed at Briarfest, but we'll see how it goes. I will leave that up to the universe to decide. I guess. My goodness. Oh, we have Michelle. Hello, Michelle. An oops or an oop? That's an oop. Yeah, well, it was a lot when I deleted stuff in code. Michelle's saying, site looks amazing. Katie says, that looks phenomenal. Thank you. Linda says, love it. Thank you. Good morning, Brenda. Jody, am I missing it? Is there a log-in page for us to join the site? That you won't be able to get until they fix this issue so that they can connect the PayPal with the Shopify properly. It's some sort of token thing in the background, and that is beyond my ability of programming language speak. It's how it links itself basically with your existing membership in PayPal to the new one, which will technically stay the same. They just need to say this and this are the same thing and they're connected. That's what is not working, is the plug-in between the two. We have PayPal, obviously, and then we have Shopify. Your accounts are waiting to just for that connection to happen, and it's not working. Karen says, love the new website. Thank you. Mickey, member log on, waiting for the bugs to fix. Yes. So hopefully soon. I've used that workaround with the code for you guys to get in, and like I said, if this takes much longer, then I'll just do this workaround. It just takes a minute to get it all sorted out in the back end, because it's all waiting for the login thing to work. So if you're trying to log in, it's not going to let you because it doesn't have things linked and proper in there yet. Lucy, would it be okay to do a little fan art of your new pony sculpt? I would stay away from that. It's kind of frowned upon in the hobby to copy other people's work. You can do something that's like a little pony pegacorn in your own style, but I would encourage you to kind of stay away from things that are copying other people's work, just because it's not usually something that most people look well upon. So if you shared it around publicly, you're going to get some heat for it, and I don't want you to put yourself in that situation. He's not going to be available in smaller sizes, but maybe you can find one in the future if he's not within your budget or availability for now. So, but doing like fan art drawings, that's not so bad. It's the sculpting end of things that you might get in some heat for. And like, the hobby can be a little unforgiving in that respect, of people lighting other people on fire for not understanding how the rules work, because we can customize things and manipulate people's work in different ways and call it our own, but we can't do, fan arty stuff. And fan art's not really as popular in this hobby as it is in some others. So the whole world can get kind of hard to manage in that way. So I'd stay away from sculpting copies of him, but you're welcome to do like drawn fan art. I would love to see that. Mickey, I asked too, Jody. We're just chomping at the bit. I know you guys are so excited to see the new website and how everything's going to work. That doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to get in to see this Dapple workshop. And speaking of, that's happening between 1 and 3 today. This is one of my practice pieces that I'll be showing you how to do some Dapple techniques on. This is the first members only workshop. I will be sending out an email link for everybody, also recording it and posting it for members after the fact. So if you miss it, don't worry about it. But I'll be going over technique and then how to train your eye to see the shapes of Dapples better, so that you're not going to get into like Esprit Dapple disease, where everything's just kind of either fishnetty or polka dots. And then really cool things like, let me give you a quick peek. You guys are awesome. Let me show you stuff. And then maybe once I'm not a coder professionally, then I can do more cool stuff. So here's a quick peek of one of the references that I'll be using for the workshop today, and explaining kind of how to train your eye to see things better, some tips, tricks, and techniques. So you'll definitely want to attend that or watch the recording when it's all done. So even if you're a member that signs up later, you can ask questions live if you're in it today. And then if you sign up later, then you can do that. And maybe some point in the future, I'll offer the option for non-members to buy in. If you wanted to just attend one workshop and ask questions and hang out, but that is not an option yet for this first one. But I may be open to that in the future. Let me know what you guys think. Lucy, I appreciate your answer. Always make sure to ask. We're going to do a doodle. Totally do a doodle. Though I'd like, if anybody is problematic about it, then let me know, and I can say that I encouraged you. So like doodles and things, not so bad. I've had people legitimately with my own art take a sculpture that they wanted that they couldn't buy and make an exact replica of it just for their own personal use. I don't encourage that. I understand circumstances where that might happen, but it's definitely not something that is looked well upon generally in the art world, even if it's for your own personal use. There's definitely some gray areas, but I think that as artists, we need to kind of have some understanding, as well as guiding people that don't know any better. So do the fan art, do the doodle. I would love to see that, and I would love to share it with my people. So yeah, do it. Send it to me. If anybody gives you flack, let me know, and I will come let them know that you are given permission to do so. Let's see. Site looks amazing. Thank you, Michelle. Julie, he's beautiful. Thank you very much. And Hannah, I think he said hi in the beginning. Workshop's going to be fire. I think so too. So one of the biggest challenges that we'll cover in all of these workshops and that I touch on quite often is how to train your brain to stop making assumptions. And that's one of our biggest things as an artist to try and overcome, because our brain fills in the blanks. It's meant to do that. It's meant to energy save. And that gets us in tons and tons of trouble because it fills in the blanks in ways that don't usually work out. So in the workshop with the dapples, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks that'll hopefully help break your brain out of that. It'll be very cool. And then showing you in some different mediums how we can manipulate and create dapples in different ways to suit different purposes, because a dapple bay with really subtle dappling or a dapple palomino with really subtle dappling is going to be a different technique than your really exaggerated star dapples that you see on a really striking contrasty gray. So different techniques suit different purposes. And you can technically take any technique and really work it to your purpose, but I'll go over what I know, and some different options for you guys, and then you guys can take that and play with it, because what is art if not play? So that is that thing. It'll be because everybody asked for it, a hair workshop next. So for June, I'm going to try and do at least one a month for members. And then, like I said, I might offer a buy-in option for people that are not in the club. That'll be on hair. So if you're wanting to do hair, I haven't decided. I got to break it down into a small-ish chunk, or we'll be there for like 2 days talking about hair, because it's hair. I can talk about it all day. I'll narrow it down, but it'll be something to do with hair, because so that's what's coming. Let's see. Club updates. Because of all the crazy stuff that's happened in the studio, the club's going to be a little bit late in shipping out. I'm waiting on sticker stuff to arrive, and the medallion needed a facial removal. Actually, I took off its whole head and resculpted it because I wasn't happy in the 11th hour. So that slowed down the process a little bit. I apologize, but I'm going to get it done as fast as possible and send it out right away for you guys. And that's when I'll do the reveal in a couple of days here. But that kind of stalled me out because I'm never picky. And this is a really ambitious medallion for the Medallion Club. There's a lot of stuff going on with it, and it is quite a complex thing. And I also had to make sure it fit in the box, which was another challenge because it started off ginormous. Yeah, so that's the thing. Jody's saying, hair, glorious hair. I know, right? All the hair. Let's talk about NFC chips. So this is going to be the first resin coming from me that'll have an NFC chip in it. And for those of you that didn't see the video that I posted on how that works, That is, and I have one just for ease. I embedded one in this medallion so you can see it. You don't need anything special. You just need a smartphone. There's, in this particular one, the chip is in the shoulder. You can't see it in the resin. It will basically be, we'll tell you where the chip is located. I'm going to try and keep it in the same spot on everything if I can. Most likely the rump or the barrel on one side. And then that will allow you to scan it. It automatically takes you to, in this case, the wrong page, but this is the one that I have set up that I can show you. It'll be a certificate of authenticity that's digital. That it'll show you what it is. So it says digital certificate of authenticity for Jug Life. Come on, phone. That it's a verified, the piece number. So if this is number 1, it'll say number 1. If this is number 100, it'll say number 100. When it was released, the edition status was just closed. How it was sold, so this was an open edition. If it's a limited edition, it'll say that. The scale it's in, the breed it's in, the gender. This is the original price. I don't know if that's going to always necessarily be there, but that's there for at least a while. Has my signature on it. There'll be a serial number. There will also be a special code within the chip, and that will be able to, I can compare that data to make sure it's actually an authentic copy, because if somebody got really, really ambitious, they could probably make a copy, but this is just a deterrent because it makes it more complicated than just recasting a resin or scanning something and producing it in a different size. You'll know if it's an official piece by me, if it can do this, and there's some cool Easter eggs that I can embed in the process as well. If it's an artist's proof, like the guy behind me, I might go in and embed a chip in him. They're basically, I can show you what they look like. It's an NFC, so near field communication. Same thing that they put in tap to pay and things like that. There's a little tiny, where'd he go? That little sliver looking bump that is actually smaller than any small right there. That little bump there, that is the little chip. And all it does is hold a very small amount of information. It doesn't transmit anything. It doesn't do anything crazy. This is the antenna that amplifies the signal so that your phone can pick it up. Takes you to that website. It can also just hold text. So technically any artist can use this. If you guys have questions and you're an artist watching this, let me know. Or customizers, because this is an application I'll tell you about in a second. It allows you to scan it from any smartphone that has NFC technology, which is basically all of them now. And you'll also get your normal paper, cardboard COAs that I send. So you'll be able to scan him, run your phone up to him. It'll pop up. You need to be within like 1 to 3 millimeters from the horse. Automatically, that website will open with all of the information on it. And technically, there's some flexibility with the technology as well, where you could do something like with the artist proofs. I'm going to be able to authenticate those artist proofs for you, tell you when I painted them, give you the story behind that particular artist proof. It'll have its own page that this will direct you to. There'll be probably a version that the public can see. And then for anybody like with these certificates of authenticity, there'll be a page that only you can access from the NFC. And so that lets you authenticate it. And then if you're at a show and you're like, who painted that? If it has NFC technology and you're gentle, then you can scan that at a show and be like, what is this? Oh, that's this piece by that artist, which is kind of cool. You can also include all the collectability information in there. So for customs, all my Jurassics, I'm going to try to include this technology in now. That will include, and then if I do artist proofs that have customization to them, I can show you the customization in progress photos. But for Jurassics particularly, it can show you the mold that they started as. It can show you the in progress photos. So when you're putting your information down for, like, you're putting your horse on the table, your judge can either scan it or you can just touch your phone to it, keep your phone out for the judge, and all your collectability information is right there. You don't need to do anything. Um, More administratively complex, which might be a feature that I offer as something that's paid because it does have more to it, is the ability to add in that particular piece number. So if it's Juggernaut number 1 or this little guy number 1, I can fill in what the painting artist is. And then even if the horse is stripped after the fact, you can tell who painted it first unless it's changed later on, right? It'll always be piece number 1. So that's kind of cool. Hopefully you guys think that that's a neat way to do things. It allows for a whole bunch of stuff in the back end, and for the future, and like I said, Easter eggy stuff that I will hopefully be able to show you soon because that's kind of cool. Becky, hi. How's it going? She's saying you're the queen of hair, and of course you removed the head. That's your trademark. I had to. This is the first hippocampus medallion that I've done, and as you guys know, they're quite complex. The sticker is a version of it. It is a little different from the sticker, but there's a lot going on with the hippocampus and all the scales, and yeah, it's a whole thing. Mickey says, I'm hyped for the dapples and hair, excited to see these workshops fallen hard into painting models and medallions. That's awesome. Because I think the medallions are underrated. We talked about this in the last art hangout that we had the other day. There's so much you can do, especially as a beginner with medallions. It's such a safe place to practice. It's not tons and tons of real estate. You can use new techniques on it without having to commit to a whole horse. So if you don't love it, it's way easier to strip. They're not as expensive, so, well, depending on which ones you buy from which artists, I guess, but they're not usually as expensive, and it's a safe place to start sculpting. There were requests for me to do kind of maybe a multi-series medallion workshop where I show you guys how to sculpt a medallion. I show you how to maybe mold that medallion and then cast it. So if that's something you guys are interested in, let me know. We can do a running series, and I can answer questions during that, but kind of fun. Relief can be challenging to sculpt and paint, but also really fun. And then if you're doing something that's like a profile, it's not as challenging as more of the perspectively dynamic pieces. Because if you have a head cranked with the body going the other way, it's going to look kind of weird. But the nice thing with medallions too is, especially for showing and things, they're meant to be seen from one angle, so they're usually a lot easier to photograph than a full 3D horse. Except for if you're super photogenic like this guy, in which case, all the angles are gorgeous. Katie, it'll definitely make things easier, hopefully. NFC. So, kind of. So NFC is near field communication, and NFT is non-fungible token. So they're different. But you can link both technically with blockchain technology and do a thing in the background. Like you could have NFC chips linked to blockchain and then track every owner of a piece and every sale. So you'd be able to see the full history. That is getting a little technologically complex for most hobby people. I wanted to keep this kind of simple. Doesn't mean you can't take that technology and do crazy stuff with it. If you want to run with it that way, go for it. I'm going to keep it a little on the simple side for now. Might be something that is incorporated later. I've had people ask if I wanted to do NFTs, and it's still a little out of my wheelhouse, so maybe not yet. And I think the hobby's not ready for it, but maybe. Michelle, such an amazing idea. Wish my Jug Life had that. Yeah, it came a little bit too late for me to get it all sorted out and figured out for that, but new additions, which would be fun. And so the Alps will be putting it into him, so that is kind of fun too. So even if you're getting castings from the Alps that are my additions, they'll have these pre-programmed and cast into the resin itself. So Becky's saying, if somebody paints their own resin, can they update the information on the chip? No, the chips will be locked, because otherwise you could change the serial codes, you could change all of it. They will be locked, which is why that would have to be something that I think about offering as something later. And because it's administratively complex, it might have to have a cost associated with it because I wouldn't be able to just keep changing chips constantly, and the back end of things, because that's all programming on my website that does that. And we already know that my brain has had a lot of that. And I'd rather be doing art and creating new pieces than that. But who knows how it'll change in the future. There might be the ability to submit it a different way, or maybe somebody else comes up with a better way to integrate that stuff. But right now, it'll at least allow you to verify the technology, and verify your horse and have some fun stuff attached to it that I can't talk about just yet. And you'll never forget the name of a resin because you can just go, boop, just kind of cool. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. It's not super expensive from like the chip perspective. These guys aren't very costly. You can get a whole bunch of them for like 20 bucks. And it's more the programming end of things. Like I said, you can just put the data onto this that says resin name, Juggernaut, year 2026, sculpting artist, this, and then like a website link if you wanted to keep it simple. But I wanted it to be a little bit more fun and visual, so it obviously connects to my website and does a whole bunch of coding stuff in the background. So yeah, that's what I did. And then if you painted your piece, then you can always write on the certificate of authenticity that you get as a paper copy that you painted it. You're number one. Your resin will always be whatever number it comes as, so you'll always know that you painted it. And like I said, maybe I offer more later on. Let's see. One more thing to talk about for studio stuff. This is an update on the piece that I was painting in oils. It's not going to let me see it, though, is it? So that's Hair by Hair oils. And I'm actually quite liking it. It is glossy in finish because I'm using liquid fine detail. But I actually quite like the look of it because it lets you smooth things out a little bit and distribute some of the hairs so that they're not looking like pencil hairs can be kind of grainy, which works really well for dapple grays, varnish roans, things like that. Pencils can be a little grainy, and then you can soften them a little bit over top. But with oils, it's just kind of naturally built into the medium that you can soften things quite nicely. So I am enjoying that process. Hopefully, I'll be able to play with the technique a little bit more and show you guys some finished photos of a piece soon, because once that's matted out, it's going to look a little bit different with the finishing spray on it. Oh, what else? My goodness, so many things. That is it for that. We don't have a rant for today. I kind of wanted to keep it short because we do have the workshop coming up here shortly. It is noon now, so it'll be in an hour. If you have any questions about anything, like how the new club stuff's working, the NFC technology, anything like that, then let me know. And hopefully we'll have everything working on the site shortly here. If you are a new member and you're signing up through the website, the only one that's not working is the International Non-Upgraded Medallion Club. I'm still working on that bug with the developer, and hopefully we can get that sorted out right away here. But otherwise, all the other clubs are available to sign up to the new system on the website. And then once we link the old ones, then everybody will be good to go. It'll be cool. So yeah, if you want to get in on pre-orders on this guy, I'm going to post information, send it out to the newsletters as soon as I know what the date's going to look like. He's just waiting. Keep it up and waiting. He does have something really cool that I'll show you guys though, since you're still hanging out. Oh, I can't show you that because it reveals his name. No! Okay. There's a really cool certificate that's going to come with it that I will reveal more later, but it has his name and I can't bleep it out, so I'm sorry. But it is awesome. This guy, oh, there's so much good in this pony. Hopefully it is awesome. I almost said his name again. Damn it. Okay. I'm not going to do hyperfixation for this week because I've been hyperfixating on dapples, because humans can get dapples too, and I will go into that in the workshop as well because that is a whole rabbit hole in a different area. I've even had dapples at one point, which is kind of funny, which led me down the rabbit hole, but we'll get into that in a bit. I love you guys very much. Thank you for coming to the stream. Like I said, if you have any questions on anything, let me know. In the meantime, be awesome and don't feed the trolls. And I'll see some of you guys soon. I'm sorry, I know I'm teasing, but there's like, there's a reason for the reveal. There is.